Hello everyone, Tech1421 here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Tower Defense. Today, we're going to be taking on the Elite Four. This is pre-recorded, so this is a post-commentary of myself beating the Elite Four. And it took me about 27 minutes to do, which is quite a long time. So what I did is I went ahead and I sped it up a little bit. I did it about 150%. Hope you can still see what's going on. I'm going to get through a little bit of about my Pokemon and why I chose to use certain Pokemon. And hopefully you can still see what's going on, even though it's a little bit sped up. But it took me quite a long time to do. And I had to look up some little bit of strategies and stuff like that. So I eventually found out a pretty good strategy, and it was pretty similar to what we used on the, I forget what route it was, but it was the route where you find Zapdos. And the basic strategy here was we're going to use Snorlax in pretty much all the levels. We're going to use Snorlax, and Snorlax is going to be using Yawn, and then we use our Jolteon as a helping hand to help our Pokemon out. You can also use Rain Dance, and you want to get some Pokemon that have some good movesets on them. I chose to bring in Mewtwo because he has a great moveset, and he'll have a great moveset for all the Pokemon that we have to face in these levels. So he has Thunder, he has Flamethrower, he has Psychic, and I forget what else, but you can probably see it on screen. I think it's like Ice Beam or something like that he had. But this very first level, and I'll get to the other Pokemon in a second, but this very first level is the Ice person, Ice Elite Four member, and what they have a lot of is these Slowpokes or Slowbros, and what you want to do is you just want to put them to sleep, and then just kind of spam your abilities or your moves. And on this very first level, I use Thunder a lot, and that's where Rain Dance comes in handy, because you can get 100% accuracy when it's in the rain, so that really helps out. One thing you want to be careful of is they use a lot of like ice moves, like I think it's like Blizzard or something, and that freezes your Pokemon like 100% of the time, I feel like. So what you want to do is if you click on the Pokemon after they become frozen, it actually unfreezes them. It unfroze, I don't know, whatever the word is. And then you have 6 potions per level, per leader or Elite Four member. So you definitely want to use that to your advantage. I recommend playing on like 75 to 50 percent as far as the zoom goes, because so you can see everything. Every level is designed the same way. So I think that's pretty much all I have to say. The other Pokemon I want to mention, the other Pokemon that I'm using, Clefable, is another one of those Pokemon that has a really good moveset in this game, just because you can use a lot of different moves, different kinds of moves. Like I chose to put on, I think it's like Flamethrower, Ice Beam, Thunder, and Psychic, I believe, is my moveset, and that comes in handy in every single level. The other one is Dragonite. I don't think I mentioned Dragonite. Dragonite is going to be really good against the very last Elite Four member that has Dragon type, so I'm going to put on Dragon Pulse on him, as well as Ice Beam, and then he's pretty good against this very first Elite Four member as well, just because he has Thunder, so you can put Thunder on there. So and then as far as the last member of my squad is going to be that Golem. Now you can use any Pokemon that has the move. I'm forgetting what the move is now. I think it's called Bulldoze. And what Bulldoze does is just slows down the enemy, and it's also pretty good whenever you see like a fire type Pokemon. It'll be pretty good against it. But I had a lot of trouble with this very first level. It took me a long time to do, a long time to complete. I think the very first 2 levels, if you're using a team similar to mine, are the hardest 2 levels by far. And what you have to do is you have to be careful of your spacing and have to be aware of where to move your Pokemon. You can see there's a lot of the Pokemon are like really fast when they get their speed boost, and they can just go by you like an instant without you really realizing what went on. So you do have a good amount of rare candies, so you can let some Pokemon by. You don't have to get every single one, but you definitely want to be careful not to let every single Pokemon by, so that they end up beating you. But there are 4 waves to every level, so it's you can definitely do it, and this is kind of this is how I beat the Elite Four, and it was a pretty big challenge. It took me a long time to do. Again, these very first 2 levels were the hardest for me, at least. It might be different for other people. I did really well on the last few. Something to mention about this next level, now that we're facing, I think his name is Koga or whatever. What you want to do is probably use like psychic and fire type moves, because you're gonna be facing like Zubats and I forget what other Pokemon, but we'll see here in a second. The Muck the Mucks just go back and forth. They have the most HP with Koga, but the trick is you don't actually have to kill them. They can't get the rare candies. You have to kill him at the very end of the level in order to beat the level, but you don't have to kill him right away because he can't get the rare candies. So just kind of play around it. I used Roar on 2 of my Pokemon just as like another kind of way of messing up my opponent. In this case being the Elite Four member. I don't know why I said opponent, but I guess it kind of makes sense. I also use Surf on my Snorlax, which works well in the rain because you're going to get that boost of that whatever it's called, the rain boost, because you're in the rain, so your water moves are going to be doing more. But you also have to be careful about using your fire type moves because they're going to be doing less damage. So just something to look out for. And again, use those potions whenever you need to use them, and you'll be fine. But the poison was what really got me, and it was really tough to kill the Mucks. So you see here, I went through all 4 waves, I think now, and it didn't take me too long to get through the waves. But now I have to. Okay, there's actually one more wave that I have to go, and you can see there's some Weezings, some Golbats here. Another good move to use, as you can see on my Dragonite, I was using Ice Beam, which works really well. It has a chance to freeze, and it also works really well against the Zubat-Golbat combination there. And there's also some Grimers too. You can see at the bottom of the screen there's some Grimers. But again, the biggest threat in this level is going to definitely be the Mucks. So you can let some Pokemon through and get some rare candies, as long as you leave enough room so that you have some rare candies left over. You can see the Mucks can't actually get the rare candies, so all you have to worry about is killing all the other Pokemon, and then worry about the Mucks, and kind of single them out. Try to go after one at a time. Don't try to go after all of them at once. And I think that's probably your best strategy. And you can see here I'm actually going after 2 at once, which I definitely recommend that you don't do. But I'm going to Roar the other one away so that we only have to worry about 1 at a time. And you'll be fine. So that's how I did it. And after these 2 levels, you're pretty much home free. I didn't really have too much trouble with the other 2 levels. You'll see here in a second. But there's different strategies for it. But here we're going to face the Fighting Elite Four member. And I didn't have too much of trouble with it. This is where the Psychic moveset comes in, with both your Clefable and your Mewtwo. You're going to use the same strategy with your Snorlax, but now you're going to have some Psychics and Psystrike to use for your Clefable and your Mewtwo. And then you're just going to keep using your Jolteon the same way you've been using Jolteon, and your Snorlax the same way you're going to be using Snorlax. And then Golem, just use the same move on Golem as far as I always forget the name of it, Bulldoze goes. And then as far as Dragonite goes, you can really use any move. He's kind of just there for support. But your main go-to attackers for this level are definitely going to be your Clefable and your Mewtwo. And they're going to be doing work because pretty much all of his Pokemon, as far as I can remember, are weak to Psychic. And I could be wrong about that. We could see some other Pokemon here, but it's nothing that your Pokemon can't handle. And for the most part, they didn't really get too far. None of them really got past my actual character, which is like the 50%, the halfway point. So it was pretty easy. And again, if you want to put it at 50% zoom, I think that's probably your best bet, because then you can see the whole map. You can see where they're coming from. And I think it's a lot better that way. Rain Dance, I don't know the whole theory behind it, but I think it helps a little bit in this level. I've heard. And then also, if you want to use Snorlax to use Surf against the Onixes, that's definitely you can definitely do that too, and that's why I like Surf on Snorlax. You don't really expect him to have Surf, but it's a pretty darn good move, especially in the rain. As I said before in the episode, it works pretty well. But again, that's how I beat this level, and we're very, very close to beating this game, and I wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit while we're going through these levels, and we kind of talked about the strategy already. But this was a fabulous game. This was a really amazing game. I don't know why I said fabulous. That's kind of a weird thing to say. But this was a really amazing game. I really, really enjoyed it. And I know it took me a while to complete the game, and we still have one more, I think either 1 or 2 more levels to go. But, I had some problems with some levels and other things, and sometimes I didn't feel like recording. But this was one of my most fun Pokemon games I've ever played, and I really enjoyed playing it. And again, we're not finished with it yet, but we're very, very close. I can just taste the ending. We have to battle the champion after this, and I think there's one more other level that we have to do. And as far as like other parts of this game, I haven't decided if I'm going to play Pokemon Tower Defense 2 yet or not. We'll have to just kind of wait and see on that. But it's definitely a possibility, because I really, really like this game, as I've said so many times. And it's the Pokemon, the whole concept of it is really cool. And I like how you're still using the same Pokemon, and you're still using like the same moves as other Pokemon games. It's just in a different fashion, a different way. Some game that I also want to try out, that's another kind of unique Pokemon game, is I want to try out Pokemon Dungeon, I think it's called, or Mystery Dungeon, I think it's called. And I want to try that out. I've never played Mystery Dungeon game. I've heard they're pretty good, and it's definitely a different kind of feel to Pokemon. You still keep the feel to Pokemon, the soul of Pokemon alive, but it's definitely like a different kind of feeling as far as mechanics and way of going about the game goes, if that makes any sense at all. But now we're on the very, very last Elite Four member, and we'll talk about strategy a little bit before we talk about other things. The main thing, I think that you're going to want to use Snorlax the same way that you used him before. As far as the Yawn goes, you can also use Roar here and there, but I feel like Yawn's the best thing to do. Probably not going to want to use Surf. I don't think there's any Pokemon to use Surf on. You can see Gyarados actually uses Surf against you, so you have to be careful about that. Just get away from the waves. And, excuse me, whenever you see Gyarados come in, you can actually switch your Pokemon to use your Thunder-type moves. And you can actually also use Jolteon to use Thunder as well. And you can see there's actually a shiny Gyarados, which is really cool. I wish I could have caught it, but you can't catch Pokemon in this level. But yeah, so you're gonna want to use your Ice Beam and Dragon Pulse as far as your moves go with your Dragonite, and then with your other Pokemon, just kind of use moves that you think would do good damage. And you're gonna want to save Golem. Golem's gonna be useful. I put Stone Edge on Golem as one of the moves, and that's going to be useful against Charizard, which we'll see with Lance. Or I think his name is Lance. I think this is Lance that we're facing. And then there's also some Aerodactyls, and what will be good against that is Thunder and Ice Beam. So just use it accordingly. You don't have to move every single Pokemon with you. You can keep some up top and some down low, some in the middle. Because you'll definitely have enough firepower to beat any Pokemon with like 3 or 4 Pokemon, so you can kind of space them out a little bit. I chose to kind of use the safe route and just use all the firepower I have. But you can definitely leave like Jolteon near the end of the pack and make sure that he's healing up your guys and using that helping hand, and then just kind of use Snorlax accordingly to put people to sleep, put Pokemon to sleep. So yeah, that's the basic strategy of this level, and if you do it well enough and you do it to you beat the Pokemon, the last Elite Four member, you are golden and you become you beat the Elite Four. And I think you actually have to beat the champion to become the champion, but you're just one step closer to beating the game. And yeah, So that's how I beat the Elite Four. And we'll see the remaining 2 waves here in a second. I forget who uses the Sunny Day, but the Sunny Day I think was used because of Charizard coming in and using some like fire attacks and stuff like that. But then I just used Rain Dance. So yeah. So anyways, a little bit more about some Pokemon stuff that I'm planning on doing. I started my Pokemon Snap Let's Play about a week ago. So if you want to check that out, if you're a Pokemon fan, if you're a fan of my Let's Plays, and if you're new to the channel, you know, check out some of my other content, of course. But I am doing the Pokemon Snap Let's Play. It's about 7 parts. I'm on, right now, as I'm recording this, I'm on part 2. Part 3 will be out soon, and I'm planning on putting them out every, like, 3rd day or so. So they'll be out pretty soon after you're watching this video. So it's a Pokemon Snap. If you ever played Pokemon Snap, it's an amazing, amazing game. I really, really enjoyed the game. It's one of my favorite Pokemon games of all time. And I just have a really fun time playing the game, and it's really enjoyable. And I think if you enjoy this Let's Play, you'll probably enjoy the Pokemon Snap Let's Play as well. It's another one of those games where it kind of has the same feel of Pokemon, but it's like a whole brand new game in its own sense. And I really hope they make a Pokemon Snap 2 going on like a different topic, but they definitely have the... You know, they can definitely do it with the Wii U. That'd be really cool. I think it would work really well with the Wii U. But they came out and said that they want to, you know, make it a whole unique game. And if they do a Pokemon Snap 2, they don't want to have the same feel to it. Whatever that means, I don't know. But that's what they said. They said something like that. But E3 is approaching. We'll see what they say in E3 as far as that goes. But this is Wave 4. We are so close to beating the Elite Four. I hope the speed of the gameplay wasn't too much. I hope you can still see what I'm doing and all that. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you can let me know what your favorite Elite Four member is in the comment section down below, that'd be great. And I'll see everyone in the very next part. We'll be taking on the champion. And we're so close to beating this game. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see everyone later. Peace.